Bane.
Valentina 2 is a 19th century economic simulator masquerading as 19th century gambling. In this ahistorical point-and-click adventure game, you canonically play as the power behind the throne. It is an industrial-era romp where you can find Lake Victoria and name it Lake Paris, ending in 1930s Germany when otaku culture was on the rise. This game really helped me awaken my vril. It is a fun experience unlike any other strategy game. So let's get now this done. We're everywhere. Why even? Boot up the game, click on single player, and look at this fucking map. Germany doesn't exist yet, and they said world peace couldn't be achieved. This is, unironically, the best looking map Paradox has ever produced. You have a variety of countries to play as. Some countries are just not meant to be played, like the respectable Dahomey or Futanori. I usually choose France because revolutions are so culture. Starting off as your chosen country, you'll notice two things. One, your cursor is a white hand because every fun country is European. And two, the boxes on the top of the screen, 2 out of 8 are useless. But they provide valuable information, like a crumbling economy. Only 4% of our population can read? I see not much has changed in Portugal. Speaking of the Joeconomy, Victorian-era economics is what makes this game great, and encourages many different playstyles. Playstyle 1, I want to conquer the world. That means I need weapons for my soldiers and huge industrial complexes utilizing exclusively child labor to fuel my war machine. Oh, did I say multiple perspectives?
I lied.
The basic well-being of your population is purely incidental to your longing for self-actualization through imperial glory. Watch out though, starving your citizens can have very foreseen consequences, so take care of them. The monarch is the father of his citizens, and you wouldn't want to be an abusive father. Would you? That's all good, but I'm an autistic NEET hikikomori incel who has no life skills. Oh, I can't cook a Kanota burger with a large Kagami drink for each one of my pups. Don't worry. After all, you're not getting the full industrial era VR experience of breaking your back working in a farm. You're just LARPing as the Führer of Albania, but it is useful to get at least a basic awareness of how all this works. The code dictating everything from production to world trade is pretty whack. When a Reddit groomer asked the developer, why are artisans making tanks with fruits? The developer responded, so that becomes a bit of a problem when the gameplay revolves around an intricate and complex global market. In order to understand the economy of Valeria 2, a 4-year economics course is recommended. And that is not an exaggeration. Just look at this long-ass fucking Steam guide. It literally links to the Boston University course for economics. This is because Valeria 2 functions in a way shockingly similar to real life. Your economy can and will get bogged. As you can tell from the constant bankruptcy events that you absolutely need to see. Real inflation, material shortages, market crashes, recessions, and depressions are all modeled with military precision. What's the matter? Chinese got your opium? But don't worry. For optimum gameplay, you simply need to dominate the Steam marketplace. That means idling in TF2 servers and menus to mine Cratecoin, which is permanently bottomed out at the minimum allowed price of 3 cents. Generally, your economic policy should go something like this. If you're not a self-sufficient autarky, you're playing the game wrong. Comparative advantage is a lie fed to you by libtards. The more industry you have is always the better. Extreme protectionism makes you a great power. Making vodka as Russia is extremely profitable, to say the least. So activate your child sweatshops and watch your economy grow, giving you the satisfaction of killing your nagging wife. As I am an NSA Bongwater crypto analyst, I analyze that my dark satanic mills are profitable, therefore good. And no, woke moralists. This is not industrial slavery. I am giving working men money to buy alcohol so they can come home and break the NAP with their wives and children. You can measure your economic success by how green your Bitcoin line is. An actual exploit in the game is hoarding millions of British pounds so no one can buy anything, or hoarding money is easy in the late game because you'll have a colossal Monero-making industrial apparatus. Past 1900, when I click on my industry tab, it gives me a migraine from information overload. One reason you might want to adopt a laissez-faire policy is to prevent the scale of your economy from becoming literally unmanageable. You now understand why communism failed. However, capitalists in this game are retards. Their decision-making is hard-coded to be completely random. They cannot be relied on. I tried to use them in this German-Russia game, and oh look, I have rank 40 industry. As much as the economy can be left on its own, in the Victoria universe, there is no such thing as independent research. All technological development is directed by the state. Technology is essential for improving your economy. This is the era of great captains of industry like famous German inventor Nikolaus Tesladorf and the great car guy Rob Ford. Some technologies are more useful than others. Population growth, great. More bodies to work in the mines and slaughter in wars. Contrast this to increasing factory input efficiency by 1%. I'm just never gonna research that. In this game, terrorism is an invention you can unlock. Hey, Douglas Haig, come look at what's in my beaker. It's ISIS. You can also discover anarchic bomb throwers and the police state, courtesy of Justin Trudeau. The economy plays into terrorism, of course. For example, not giving your citizens basic goods and starving them can lead to huge and constant gamer uprisings. Literally every 2 fucking years you have to deal with this crap. If people were this violent in real life, the whole world would be just like downtown Detroit. Speaking of government scandals and playing darts with the Twin Towers, we need to talk about diplomacy, because the early bird catches the war crime.
I will now quote Adolf Hitler, speaking to Goering, von Brauchitsch, and von Ribbentrop at the Chancellery, and we can try and figure out the subtle nuances of his thinking concerning the coup. I have decided to destroy Yugoslavia.
Diplomacy is the glue that held the worlds together until 1914. It's a meticulous craft that only a few great men have mastered. You, the power behind the chair, can unilaterally decide the fate of your country on the world stage. So randomly deciding to destroy Serbia one day is totally in the cards. Retribution for your annihilation of the African tribe known as is only something you receive after going above 25 infamy. In the code, infamy is canonically known as Bad Boy. 24.99 Bad Boy points is more than acceptable. It's encouraged, because unlike actual material resources in this game, infamy is finite. So save up your Bad Boy tokens to judiciously and legally annex the world. But once you get more than 25 Canadian Tire money, suddenly your war in Bosnia is considered a human rights violation. You will be tried at the Hague. The stakes are high. Breaking the 25 cap means that every country in the world gets a free casus belli to dismantle your map painting. So get some allies. It's easy when you know you can't possibly be a worse ally than Italy. Here's an Italian guide to diplomacy. Betray people when it is beneficial for you to do so. Have no moral scruples. Say you're part of one alliance. When a war starts, back out and say that, well, it is technically not an offensive alliance. Then join your enemy's side. A year later, I really shouldn't have any allies, but much like cats, countries can hold a grudge for up to 16 hours. The way to make more friends is to use your 9 Bismarck points to finesse your way into their pants. In other words, if your number is below 8, your opinion doesn't matter. The Great Power score is divided into 3 categories: stuff that matters, important stuff, and inane bullshit. Writing poems and painting anime is a genuine way to achieve international power, and great powers get minors. Spheres of influence are needless ball aches implemented to make the game less fun. I am Austria. My dynastic imperial prerogative is to keep every minor in my sphere. France and Russia and Britain and America sometimes don't like the fact that I am basically committing human trafficking, so they continually touch the minors diplomatically, saving them from my private island. Checking your diplomacy tab is necessary. country. Checking every month to ban Turkish embassies is an inspired act of pain. If you have an attention deficit and accidentally let Japan go up to 100 minor touching points, your sphereling is disappeared into the East Asia co-prosperity sphere. Fans of Toho should love the diplomacy, as it's all about getting minors. A minor is a country that is not a great or secondary power, by the way. Enjoyment doesn't only come in the form of diplomatic nightmares. Crises are what can be described as a shocking and a distressing. A crisis happening to someone else can give you a good amount of schadenfreude, but to me, myself, and I, now that's just unreasonable. These surprise heart attacks can start world wars easily. It doesn't matter where, why, or how. Crises will commence a world war that you will be involved in. If you think sacrificing millions of young men to save a minor Slavic country is unrealistic, it has happened 3 times: Serbia, Poland, Ukraine. However, diplomacy is too passive-aggressive. Sending strongly worded letters can only get you so far. I am not passive-aggressive. I am aggressive. I will literally kill. War is an integral mechanic in Valorant 2, so put on your vintage limited edition Great War Hudson socks, because we're invading Serbia. I fucking love war. I want to kill people for money and destroy cultures and histories. No, I am not deranged. This is the funniest part of the game. The #1 tip for warfare in Volclovio 2 is to research military directionalism to get gas attack. Military directionalism. Other than that, the AI is fucking stupid. Losing to the AI means that one is dumber than the AI, and that is a disability. Not like any of you watching would fuck up that badly. You're all very smart, especially the ones who like, comment, and subscribe. Army composition means everything. There is only one composition you're allowed to use. 1 horse, 4 guys, 5 cannons. You can change it up a little by replacing 1 cannon with an engineer, though it is not recommended in most circumstances. In the late game, you can replace the horse with a plane, and if you're feeling spicy, you can replace the engineer with a Mark IV land cruiser. And no, there are no other army compositions. Yes, you will do demonstrably worse if you do not use this composition. The second most important thing is generals. Whether or not you win a battle is entirely determined by random chance. Getting my army stack wiped because they got a 9 and I got a 0 is funny because it's just like 1984. So obtain a good general like Conrad von Hotzendorf to win World War I. The third most important thing in war is your population size. Not only for industry, but throwing warm bodies into an industrial meat grinder. 1 million lost are acceptable casualties. The industrial era was the advent of modern war, and as Indy Nidell always tells you, World War I was epic and cool. Remember, in war, it's important to have fun and be yourself. Look at how many Chinese are perishing. Let me clip this one for YouTube. Because of the scale of conflict in this game, and the fact that there's no system to handle all your divisions like Hearts of Iron, wars in general can be tedious, but fun. Tedious as in late game, you will be running on 1 speed, trying to manage every single army you have scattered across the world. Fun as in, well... Why are you showing me a picture of a single solitary sink? Let that sink in. A neat handy-dandy trick to beat the AI is to move a 9k stack onto a mountain tile, have them attack you so they get a -3 on each dice roll, then move in your proper army to stack wipe them. The cool thing about this tactic is that it works literally every single time. Genociding one's opponent and then moving on to ruining their country is just part of Woodrow Wilson's playbook. My body is a machine for ethnic violence and crowd a mix of Red Bull as my fuel. Sorry, France, it was Jover before it even Joe started. There's also the home front. Women are hunger striking for their suffrage? What sluts? Just fucking eat! This is morally okay because I'm a based Tradcaf Groiper. Not kneeling to spinsters and the minimum wage means that everyone will just break out into open war every 2 seconds. The good thing is that rebels never get gas attack defense, meaning you just gas your own citizens. I know as much about Japanese war crimes as the actual Japanese government does, which is to say, not at all, and the lore of the 19th century is just as fun.
Les conséquences de la révolution industrielle ont été désastreuses pour tous les gens au monde.
In the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars and the independence of Brazil, the world was feeling kind of insane. In 1836, industry was invented when some mad lad figured out that boiling water creates steam.
The day of small nations has long passed away. The day of empires has come.
In the rapidly changing and burgeoning world, everyone claims to be pro-life, but starts wars and dies. Russia has 3 wars with Turkey in under 60 years, which is an achievement. In 1871, Germany was united by the player in the North German liberation of French Alsace. China was like, hey Britain, I heard you made this opium by crushing a guy's head with an ATM. Then, after all that fun, Europeans gathered in Berlin and said, okay Africa, game time started. We then go through a time known as La Belle Époque. That ended in 1914 when... Hold on, I think I already said this one before. Then the dumbass of Sarajevo gets a Gavrilo Princip jump scare. The Ottoman Empire loses the war, and Turkey is deemed not the legal successor state, so they don't face any punishment. This actually happened. Germany, on the other hand, they go through Weimar and then experience otaku culture. The game conveniently ends on January 1st, 1936, when Hearts of Iron 4 starts. In the Victorian period, you of course get to experience the festering of many varied ideas. One, for example, by someone you might know, Karl Marx. Here's an excerpt from a seminal masterpiece. Preamble: a specter is haunting Europe. The specter of no pussy, no work, no pussy, no vaccine, no pussy, no taxes, no pussy, no peace. More and more young men are realizing that sex is not an incidental byproduct of our existence. Whoops, sorry. That's from the abridged version written by Coach Redpill. The politics in this game are so advanced that they discovered an ideology that doesn't exist in real life, anarcho-liberalism, which is kind of bizarre until you realize that they're just anarcho-capitalists. Your choice of government matters as much as your vote matters in real life. The decision to be an absolute monarchy as opposed to a proletarian dictatorship are genuinely both balanced choices because it's only aesthetic. Nothing actually changes except for flavor. You will definitely enjoy the proletarian dictatorship if nothing other than becoming communist and killing all the capitalists. You will be glad to know that there's an in-game newspaper actively reporting on everything you do like an obsessed stalker, though I'm not sure how it stays solvent because nobody never ever reads it. A better way to keep track of world events is through the panel on the bottom right that no single person playing this game knows about. In Vanilla Wiki, there actually isn't a lot of flavor when it comes to expanding your empire. Mods ameliorate that. Proof in the pudding. As good as this game is, mods will give you the complete colonizer experience. In vanilla, America gets to pickle halva through Canada every single time. It's hideous. There's so much border gore that it transmits eye cancer. That, combined with other stuff, makes vanilla not that good. I don't recommend you play the Greater Flavor mod, or GFM, because they remove the best mechanic introduced by the mods: genocide. Among Us made the Russian Empire great. You'll make it great again with the blood of the impostors who inhabit the Pale of Settlement. People say Paradox games have a problem with far-friendly extremists. Not true at all. They have a veritable Tim overload. I like Crimea mod because it allows me to remove the undesirables. They also are red-pilled on the fact that the Congo 10 million is a figure a pseudo-historian pulled out of his caboose. Leopold II is a good boy who didn't do nothing. Also, the dev might be an idiot because he merged Ukrainian and Belarusian into Russian. I know for sure that Ukrainian is different than Russian because of the secret Azovstal Kompit. Anon's modifications would be a good mod if it didn't crash every fucking second. The Cold War era mod is a bloated piece of shit. It is not fun. If you find it fun, good, have fun. Pops of Darkness is fun, especially if you move to Brazil. Blood and Iron and Ending Extension are also good. As for the Volaklava 2 community itself, listen, my boy, internet discussions on this game are cancer. There has not been a single thread I have seen that does not immediately and irresponsibly devolve into some argument about a hot topic. I have videos about politics. This is a video about a video game. Now, if a modder actually sees this video, maybe some will hopefully, my only request is to add more content to Canada. Add lots and lots of content to Canada, please. Finally, I don't know anything about multiplayer. I can't play any game for more than 20 minutes before my brain melts. So the idea of playing for 5 hours with 11 other autists is not appealing. Basically, everything I know about multiplayer comes from Spudgun videos. Do I recommend you buy this game? Yes, it is the only Paradox game I recommend you acquire legally. I've played this game for almost 1,000 hours, which should tell you something about my non-existent sanity. This video was made before Victoria 3 comes or came out. My thoughts on it are shrimple as. I hope it never gets released so more people play Victoria 2. Victoria 2? Wait. Holy shit, Victoria 2, that's the name of the game! Follow me on Post, Odyssey, and Gab. I'm putting the links on the screen because I believe that YouTube will penalize me if I put the links in the description.
I made a video, I think it was January 9th, 2020.
Well done, mate. Who asked?
Stop, let him finish.